Yo, what's up, everybody? So the next podcast is gonna be interesting. I got problems at immigration. I met the homeless guy. Gonna elaborate on that. Talked about UFC 269. So a lot of stuff. Within the last 2 weeks. So that's what we're gonna be talking about. Don't miss it, man.
What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the Yamatodamashii podcast. My name is James, and of course, we're joined by Enson. And Enson, we thought, you know what, you've had a kind of a crazy couple of weeks coming back from Hawaii, so we thought we'd just kind of talk through some of the highlights and different shit that's been going on. So I think the one thing that sort of blew up a bit on social media was your whole time with Cloud. Like, I don't know, maybe just for anyone that missed it, but what was the situation there? You kind of put the video out there, but yeah, but I think people don't really know sort of what happened after you guys sort of met.
Well, it's good to talk about it because the video pretty just shows what happened.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't tell what I felt, why I did what I did. It didn't. It didn't. I wasn't able to elaborate on any of it, so this is a good time to do it. Yeah. Well, I was actually closed. My shop was closed. My shop closed on September 30th. I think it was December 2nd. And he walks in, and he was obviously homeless because he had a big bag with stuff in it. His shirt was, his clothes was very dirty. He didn't smell, but his clothes was dirty. So right there, I had, oh shit, this guy's freaking homeless. And so for me, like a year ago, I had a guy actually come in, and these homeless people, what they do in Hawaii is they'll go through all the open doors. They'll wander through open because my shop, there's no sign outside. You don't even know. You walk up the staircase, and in a little lettering, there's Destiny Forever. Mm-hmm. That's it. So unless you're wandering around or unless you know the shop already, you're not gonna. It's not like you walking by the street, you see the shop, say, "What's that?" I will check it out. So what happened a year ago is when one of the homeless guys, they wandered into the building. They wander in looking for things to steal. Mm. So, my office, we have two accountants. We have a vape shop that the door is always locked. And we have a little progression educational, like a tutoring room. And I'm the last shop in the back. So what happened a year ago is a homeless guy wandered in, and, I kind of right off the bat knew he was homeless too because he was dirty, and he had no mask on, and I right now because of the pandemic, my shop goes by appointments only, and right there I had nobody coming in for appointment, so the guy walked in. Long story short, I made him put on a mask. He eventually tried to steal a money clip from me. Ironically, a homeless guy that has no money trying to steal a money clip. Super ironic, but. Yeah, I caught him trying to steal the money clip, and actually didn't touch him. I decided to just kick him out of the shop, and I escorted him out of the building. As soon as he got out of the building, he ran down the stairs, turned around, and said, "I'm going to come and cut you up." No, so my whole thing was like, this freaking homeless guy came in, tried to steal shit from me, comes back and threatens me. I'm like, bad feeling, bad feeling. Yeah. I mean, I've fed homeless. I've helped homelesses out. But, there's another section of homeless people. I mean, not a section. There's another type that, just looking for trouble. So when Cloud walked in, my whole thing was, okay, my shop's closed. I keep the door open, but my shop's closed. He walks in, he's homeless. I'm like, oh, God, here's another one. Damn. Yeah. So I'm trying to be as nice as I can. And I'm trying to tell him, hey, do you have an appointment? I'm actually closed. My store's actually closed. Do you have an appointment? And he's like, oh, no. I said, well, you know what? I'm actually closed right now. I'm closed for business. And he just stands there. And I'm thinking, okay, just to make sure, I asked him, how did you hear about me? And what he said, the way he answered that kind of blew me away, because he said, oh, Enson, I know you. I'm like, well, So I'm like, okay, wait a minute. Let's backpedal a little bit.
Mhm.
And I confirmed. I said, hey, so you're not a homeless guy just randomly wandering into my shop. He goes, no. He said, I came to talk to you. And I was like, you know that you caught me by a couple of days because I'm leaving soon? He goes, I know. That's why I came today. Or I think it was the third. Because I told him I leave tomorrow. He goes, I know. That's why I came to see you.
Right.
And for me, the demeanor changed. And I was like, okay, wait a minute. He's a homeless guy, but he's not here for bad intentions. He wanted to meet me. He came to say hi. And, for me, he stood there and he talked and said stuff like, I love Yamatodamashii. We talked about homelessness. We talked about, I kind of know how he feels because I've done the pilgrimage where I stepped outside, so we kind of touched bases like that. And, because he liked Yamatodamashii so much, the real reason why I wrote a book wasn't to make money. It was to spread the word of Yamatodamashii. So when I found that he was someone that really appreciated the word Yamatodamashii, I decided to give him a signed book. So got up. I mean, if you saw, there's a video of it. I got up. I signed the book to him and gave the book to him. And he was pretty much blown away just by that. And I don't know, just instinctively, I just thought, hey, maybe, Thanksgiving just ended. Maybe he can go out and have a good meal. So I put out $100 bill and gave him the $100 bill and said, hey, go get some food. And I remember you can hear him on the video saying, damn, he was just blown away. And I didn't want to sit there and puff my chest or anything. So I kind of pretty much just said, okay, go get some food. Take care of yourself, man. See, when I come back, come check me out. And I kind of turned away and walked away. He left the room, yeah. So, for me, he's homeless. I don't know the reason why he's homeless. I didn't know the reason why he was homeless. It doesn't matter. The fact that he's in an unfortunate situation. If I can, Thanksgiving is a huge holiday in America. And it's, giving thanks to a lot of things. I mean, sometimes you think that the indigenous people, the pilgrims came in and took over the land and stole the land from the Hawaiians, So, it's not really a day of celebration, but it's actually moved to a day of thanks. Not a lot of the Americans now don't remember that. Right. And they're saying thanks for like when my family has a Thanksgiving party, we pass around light a candle, and everyone just says a short sentence on what they're thankful for.
Oh, that's cool.
So it's just more of a day of giving thanks to things that you appreciate and you're grateful for. Yeah. So for me, I felt, Thanksgiving, I asked him what he did at Thanksgiving. He said nothing. I said, oh, it's just another day for you, huh? I told him. He goes, yeah.
Yeah.
And I said, oh, here. So I give him the money. I said, get something good to eat, man. And we parted ways. So that's where I made that video and I put it up on the YouTube channel. And, a lot of people seem to have a lot of interest. What I didn't realize was the next day before I flew out, I reached out to him because he's actually on Instagram.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I didn't tag him in that post on Instagram because I didn't know if his family knew he was homeless, so I just left that out. But it was a good way to keep in touch with him because he told me he's on Instagram. I got his name, everything. So I messaged him on Instagram, and I just felt that, maybe I can take him out to eat. Maybe before I leave, I can take him out to eat. Give him a good meal, fill his tummy, and because I gave him $100, how long is that gonna last? And I want to make sure he gets something good to eat. So I messaged him. I asked him, how what's his favorite food, and he said he loves to eat sushi. So I told him, okay, tomorrow at lunch at 12 o'clock, we come to my shop, we'll meet, and we'll go to get sushi. And so that's what we did. And I posted on Instagram. And when we went to get sushi, he was really dirty. So when we're walking around the mall to go get sushi, it's funny because I told him, I don't know if we can get sushi because you need to be vaccinated. He's vaccinated. He had a vac
Oh, he
card, so
is.
he had a
All right.
vaccinated. Yeah, so it's okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Walking around, and we go into the restaurant to make a reservation, and the girl kind of looks at him, like looks at me, like whoa. She ignores it, gives us a reservation, says come back in 30 minutes. Okay, fine. And I'm like, okay, dude, we got to get you some new threads, man.
Yeah.
People say people you look homeless, people looking at you funny. Let's get some new threads. You want some new clothes? He goes, oh, I love new clothes. So we walk in that mall. There was no really cheap clothes places. There was only like a golf shop, and
Right.
golf shirts
Okay.
to run like started like $80. Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah. So we go to a golf shop, and then I look at it and said, ah, shit, these are shitty shirts, all like polo shirts and weird shirts. And I said, you see any shirt you like? He walks up to this real bright Aloha shirt. I'm like, whoa, you want that? He goes, oh, I've always wanted a real authentic Aloha shirt. I'm like, find your size, man. Try it on. So we went into the
Yeah. Yeah.
back, got a pants, got a shirt, had him try it on. It fit. And because I didn't want him to, we had nowhere to change. And I didn't want him to come back on his dirty clothes. So I give him a bag to put his dirty clothes in. I said, just wear that out. I'll talk to the clerk. So he wore it out. We went to the clerk. We had to take off those sensor tags that they have for people not to steal them. Took those off. I paid the whole thing, and he was. I mean, I kept a couple times when we were walking to the restaurant. I looked back. I said, "Damn, you look good, man."
Yeah.
And he was super happy in his new threads. So
Yeah.
that's what you saw. You saw the lunch
Yeah.
and took him to eat sushi. He pounded that sushi, man. So
Yeah.
it made me
I
really
bet,
happy
man.
to see him enjoying himself.
Yeah, it was so cool, man. It just when you're scrolling through social media and you see people moaning and complaining about stuff, just to come across something like positive like that, it was like felt me feel motivated to like go and be a better person, do some good in the world. So I think a lot of people felt the same. So it was nice to
Yeah,
see
yeah.
something good
You
online.
know how they say is when you do something good, you start a ripple.
Yeah,
And
100%.
when you throw a pebble into a pond and it starts to ripple, the ripple goes across the whole pond, yeah. And I got a message from a friend that lives in Japan, and it's ironic. Her name is Destiny,
Right.
but
Okay.
she messaged me and she told me this long story about there's a homeless guy she saw at the station that was like sitting on his knees in the cold on concrete, and how she was hesitant because some of the homeless people have psychological problems and get violent. Some of them are real cold and ignore you. So she just felt this urge to just talk to him. She talked to him. The guy was hungry, and she said that she just remembered Cloud.
Yeah.
And she's the one who actually reminded me about the ripple. Yeah, she said, you created a ripple and it spread onto me.
Yeah.
And she thanked me for doing that. And when I saw that, it's like holy shit. It's so nice to see that. I didn't do that to try and create a inspiration for people. I didn't do it to try to tell people to do stuff. It's just something that I did that I wanted to share.
Yeah.
And Destiny went and the ripple isn't anything if it's not continued. And she helped make the continue to ripple across the pond. And hopefully there's more people that actually saw that post and went out and helped people that are less fortunate than them. So
Yeah,
I love that,
definitely.
man. I love that ripple effect, man.
Yeah, if anyone did, put it in the comments or send it to you, like just because it'd be cool to.
Yeah, nice to hear, man.
Yeah, definitely. But what about coming back to Japan? Obviously with COVID now, restrictions. How was the flight home and interactions with the airport?
Well, the flight home was super nice because Delta is not flying direct flights anymore. So it was unfortunate because instead of going home in an 8-hour flight, I got to go to a 6-hour flight to Seattle, have a 4-hour layover, and have a 10-hour flight to Haneda, to Tokyo.
Wow.
So unfortunate as that is, it actually turned out to be very fortunate for me because when 3 days before my flight, Hawaii had a case of that new variant. what's that called? Omicron.
Omicron. Yeah.
Omicron. Yeah. So I had
The
a
fucking
new
names, man.
case of the Omicron. Yeah.
Yeah.
And what I understood was that Hawaii was put on the list of hot areas that usually so what happened was before that Omicron became around,
Mm-hmm.
the quarantine was 14 days.
Mm-hmm.
Because Japan's numbers are going so low and Hawaii's numbers are low, what happened with the quarantine, if you're vaccinated, it came to 10 days. So when Shoshi came back in October, he only had 10 days.
Mm-hmm.
So before in end of November, before I was, the week before I was getting ready, before the Omicron variant was had a case in Hawaii, before the case, it was like, okay, we don't know what's going to happen. Is it 10 days or is it 3 days now? So like, okay, maybe I only got 3 days, but if not, 10 days is cool too. And then 2 days before I take off, the Prime Minister of Japan comes on and says, we're no longer allowing any more foreigners into the country.
Mm-hmm.
And people watching this podcast need to understand, there's levels of severity. So the first level 1 severity is them closing off all the borders to any foreigners, regardless of your status. Only Japanese people can go in and out. Okay, that's the most severe one. The second status, which isn't as severe, the next level is where they allow returning residents like me.
Mm-hmm.
But you can't have a visa. Even if you get a visa and try to come in for your first time, they won't allow you. You're locked out.
Mm-hmm.
The third, where it moves and gets a little better, is where they're allowing people with visas to come in. So not only Japanese, returning residents and new visa holders can come in. And that's what it was at when I went to Hawaii. So I'm thinking, okay, it's slowly getting better. So the next step is they're letting in tourists and there's no quarantine. So that's what I'm hoping for. Yeah.
Yeah.
So when the Omicron came, what they did was they jumped back to the second level. But the Prime Minister didn't explain that. All he said was closing off the borders to foreigners. So I'm like, holy shit, I better find out. So I went on the internet and found out that no, it's still open to returning residents. But New York, Florida, Texas, Hawaii, all the countries that had the Omicron variant was on a list that you need to quarantine for 3 days in a government hotel. So I wasn't going to be able to go home and quarantine for 14 days.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the funny thing is I arrived in Japan on the 6th. For Hawaii, anybody coming in from Hawaii after the 5th. So I missed it by 1 day. So I'm like, oh shit, there's got to be a way around this, man. I've been thinking to myself, I get all these ideas going through my head, like, how do they know I came from Hawaii when I'm actually coming from Seattle?
Yeah.
So I'm thinking, there might be a loophole. So on the plane, there was a little questionnaire saying, where have you been in the last 14 days? If I didn't read properly, if I was a dummy, sometimes my student, some dumb guys I know will make that mistake. So I played dumb, and I just wrote, the last place I'm leaving to go to Japan is Seattle. So I put down Seattle. Yeah. I omitted Hawaii. The only problem is my PCR test was from Hawaii.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, somebody catch that, they'll know I was in Hawaii within 14 days because it was 3 days before. So I'm like, okay, get into the first checkpoint. I mean, it's crazy because there's like 6 checkpoints, and they check all your shit 6 times.
Fucking hell.
So I'm like, God, so somebody's going to probably, I already had it in my heart that I'm probably going to have a 3-day quarantine in a hotel. So cool. I had some extra underwears, I had some snacks just in case, So
yeah,
I went in the first checkpoint. They was, oh, where'd you come from? So I'm like, okay, I came from Seattle. I'm not lying. I came from Seattle. Boom. Next 2 checkpoints, Seattle. Yes, Seattle. Yes. The second to the last checkpoint, they tell me, oh, you came from Seattle. I'm like, yeah, I came from Seattle. They didn't ask me where'd you come from. They asked me, I didn't say where did you originate. They said where you come from.
Yeah.
Seattle.
Which is
Then
true.
the last checkpoint, she said, "Oh, Seattle, it's okay, Seattle." And she put a little circle on it that I didn't have to quarantine.
Right.
So I'm like, okay, when am I gonna be able to let my guard down to know that I avoided that quarantine? So I'm going, okay, we're going to immigration. Okay, immigration. Past immigration, okay, customs. Okay, I'm done. I'm out.
Yeah.
Messaged Sarah, said, Sarah, get over here, pick me up. I did it. I'm not going into quarantine. So I'm going over there and going to customs. And I know I have CBD. I know CBD is a little bit sketchy on the list of things that you can bring into the country. My CBD is from this company called Blue Label. They make one of the best, and their CBD has no THC in it. There's no detection of THC if you take a test. So legally, there's no THC I can bring it in. So I went to the immigration and just, it's funny because whenever you have women agents, they're usually a lot more stiff, so they check your shit more. They get a little more nitty gritty, something about women. So there's a lady and a guy, and I'm like, the lady's like waving me over to her stand. And I'm like, the guy's open too. So I'm like, fuck that. That lady's going to give me shit. So I said, forget. I went to the guy. First thing the guy says is, oh, can I see a bag? I'm like, oh, okay. No big deal. So I open my bag. Bam. He checks it like a freaking hound dog. Finds the 2 bottles of CBD.
Right.
So the CBD is wrapped around with tissue, so it's padded so it doesn't break. Mm-hmm. And he's asking me, what is this? And it's going through my head. Should I tell him it's aroma oil? I think, well, but if I tell him it's aroma oil and he opens up, it says CBD on the packet. Oh, what am I going to do? And I'm thinking all this thing, and I say, if I just be honest, I said CBD.
Yeah.
I said, but there's no THC content, so it's legal in Japan. He goes, oh, okay. You have any more? I said, no. I did have more. They found it later. But so I go in, and then he holds the CBD on the side. And he goes, now we have to go to another room. I said, oh, God, you serious? I said, yeah, we'll check all your luggage now. I'm like, okay, let me call Sarah. Let me call my wife. Let her know that I'm going to be late because she's going to pick me up. No, don't touch your phone. You can't touch your phone. No calls. I'm like, whoa, chill out, bro. You're acting like I'm a criminal. I'm being arrested. He said, you can call after. I'm like, okay, but not too long after because I have to let her know because she's going to worry, and it's not good for her to worry.
Yeah.
So he goes, okay, takes me to another room. Puts more agents come in. 3 agents come in. They put all my luggage, my backpack, my strap bag, my waist pouch, everything on the counter. They're searching every little pocket.
Right.
So they end up pulling out 5 bottles of CBD.
Right.
2 bottles of CBD cream now. It's a lotion that you put on my knee because my knee hurts.
Yeah.
They put out a fucking vial of turmeric for my dogs. It says vet. It's an oil, so it says it's vet. I said, this is my dogs. I said, don't take this. This is for my dogs. It says veterinary.
Yeah.
And they're like, we got to test it. I'm like, you got to be fucking joking. Guess what else they pull out? I had some ibuprofen. Painkillers for my teeth. And the dentist, they give you strong painkillers.
Yeah.
I had it in the bag with the dentist's name, everything on it. They put that on the side.
Oh,
and whenever my students get cauliflower ears, we got to drain the ears,
Yeah.
So I had some syringes so I can drain the ears. They put that on the side too. So I'm sitting there looking at them and saying, okay, you guys, the bottle says no THC. They said, no, we have to test it because it might not be true. I'm like, then why aren't you testing everything in my bag then? Because whatever's written or whatever, it's not true, right? Don't you go on what it's labeled? They say, well, we got to test this. I'm like, I said, what about this? I said, you guys know English? Veterinary. This is for my dogs. They said, you're going to take this too? Then we got to test it. I'm like, whoa. And even the cream, they said, anything CBD, they told me. I'm like, the dogs want not CBD, but it's some kind of oil. I'm like, oh, God, you guys are freaking ridiculous. So then I jumped on their ass. I said, what's up with the painkillers and the syringes. I said, syringes aren't illegal. I said, what, are you trying to say that I do drugs or something? Did you find drugs in my bag? They said, no. I said, well, is there drugs hidden in the syringes? He said, no. I said, you have to test the syringes? I said, no. I said, well, give me back my fucking syringes.
Yeah.
And I said, the painkillers, give me back that too. And they kind of looked at each other and they put it back in my luggage.
Right.
Yeah. And then it's just like the whole process was ridiculous. They told me I couldn't make a phone call. Even at the back room, it was like an hour and a half went by. Sarah's already at the airport waiting for me.
Yeah.
So I just straight up told the guy, you know what? I said, I don't want my wife to worry. You guys gonna tell me I can't use a phone call. I'm not a criminal. I'll put it on speakerphone. I'm not gonna say any secrets or anything. I'm not telling her to hide anything. I said, I'm gonna make my call. And the head guy goes, no, you can't make your call. And for me, it was ridiculous. So I straight up told him, you know what? Fuck you. I'll make my call right now. I'm put it on speaker so I'm not hiding everything. If you guys want to stop me, physically stop me because I don't want my wife to worry. Made the call right in front of them, speakerphone. They all stood there and looked at me. And I just talked. And I told Sarah, man, I told Sarah straight up, these fucking idiots in front of me is confiscating my shit. Told me I couldn't call you. So I was saying it right in front of them. They understood English too, yeah. So I said, I just wanted to let you know that I'm going to be late, so don't worry. So just wait. I'll be out. And I cut the phone, and those guys looked at me, and they didn't say anything. Yeah. And they told me, don't touch. I wanted to text people, Sarah, let her know, okay, doing this. They won't let me text. They told me I can't touch my phone. So I'm right there thinking to myself, yeah, fuck yeah, watch this. I'm going to get fucking pictures of you guys. So pictures is a total no-no. Pictures are, I mean, they didn't even want me texting what's happening.
Yeah.
So I had this app on my phone that didn't, shutter. In Japan phones, they don't have any, there's no mode that shuts off the shutter sound.
Right.
You need a shutter sound. So I had this app that actually allows me to take pictures without noise.
Right.
It's called this one, the Capera app. This one right here. And I just pushed that. I just pushed that app. I got my camera on. And check this out. Oh, okay. So that made noise, right? So I turn off my volume and right here. No noise. So I'm right here just holding my phone in my hand. And when them two stupid idiots are looking down, I'm just right here. Boom. First picture. Boom. Second picture. Holding my phone in my hand. Another picture. And you guys will all see this popping up on this podcast right now. But yeah, so
how long were you there?
Long story short,
like in total,
I asked them if I'm getting arrested. They said no.
Yeah,
we're not allowing you to bring your shit in. And then they said they're going to call me in a couple of days to let me know what the test results were.
All right. Okay.
Got a call from them 2 days ago. Yeah. And I asked them, was there any THC detected? They said no. I said, well, give me my shit back. They said, oh, we can't do that.
Oh, you're lying.
CBD is considered a medical product. So in order to let it in, we need to have proof of how it's made from the company. Like pictures of the production, proof of how you made it, proof that there's no THC. I'm like, you guys did the test. There's no THC. They said, no, well, you need to do it properly. Yeah, they'll send it to me, but it's going to be COD. I'm like, okay, that's cool. And then they told me that, okay, we're going to have to look into this more to find out. I said, I need it. I want it back. I said, send it back to Hawaii then. You stopped it coming from the country. Without the proper paperwork, can it come in the country? Okay, fine, I agree. I won't have it in the country. Send it back.
Yeah.
The guys tell me, when are you going back to Hawaii? So I said, I'm going back in February. They said, give me the date, the flight number, everything. I said, okay. I said, what happens then? They said, when you come, we'll give it back to you, take back home. It's like, oh, that's not bad. That's not bad. Because it was about $1,000 worth of stuff. And the thing about the things, I emphasized to them that it was for my pain. It helps with my pain.
Mm-hmm.
But the biggest reason why I brought it in is I have 3 dear friends here in Japan, one in Kyoto, one in Chiba, and one in Tokyo, that they have cancer, and CBD helps with cancer. And
Yeah.
one of the guys that is a karate guy, his cancer numbers are dropping because of the CBD.
Wow.
The lady in Kyoto, she said the nausea from the chemotherapy is nothing. She has no nausea when she takes the CBD. So for me, I've given them like 3 bottles already, and I'm out. I don't have any more bottles at home. So this bottles, I mean, I brought them 5. I was going to send 2 to each of them. I was going to send 1 to the new girl that has it in Tokyo. I was going to send 2 to the karate guy and 1 to the lady. So I had 1 bottle for myself. So 1 bottle was for myself. Oh, for me and Sarah to share. So for me, the biggest thing was, man, bringing it back for them.
Yeah.
And so when they said, they're going to give it back to me, I said, okay, I'll go home and I'll figure out a way to send it somehow, get it. Because I've gotten into Japan before. So I figured, okay, I got to figure that out. And the first feeling I had when I left the airport without it, I messaged all 3 of them saying that I'm super sorry, man. I couldn't get it in, man. And they're super cool. They're like, I hope you didn't get in trouble. I said, no, everything's cool. But I was really looking forward to getting this new bottle, because this new bottle was a little stronger than the ones I gave them. So it would have been even better for them. So the funny thing is, I get that call thinking, okay, now there's, at least I didn't lose out on it. I got a call yesterday again from them. And I'm thinking, oh, no, why are they calling me now? And they tell me that, oh, we called you and we told you that we'll give it back to you. Well, we can't give it back to you. And I'm like, what? I said, you guys just told me yesterday. Yeah, that was a mistake. They said, we can't give it back to you. And I told them, why? I said, it's legal in the States. Just send it back where it's legal. They said, no, you can't. We can't let this type of illegal product in Japan out of the country. And I'm like, wait a minute. You guys just decided it wasn't going to be allowed in the country. So it wasn't ever allowed in the country. Yeah. So it wouldn't be leaving the country. Why are you guys doing this? And he said, no, we can't give it back to you. The only way we can give it back to you is you have the proper paperwork to show that there's no THC. I said, but didn't you guys test it and had no THC? They said, yes, but we need the proof in the paperwork. I'm like, whoa, this is like a procedure thing, yeah? So, so I'm in the process right now of trying to get in touch with Blue Label and see if they can, if I ordered 10,000 bottles and I was a huge client, and I told them, you know what, to get it in, I need you to take pictures of the production, explaining what you're doing, how you do every piece of procedure. You have to take a picture and send them, explain to them what they're doing, what machine they're using, how they're extracting this, how they're extracting the CBD without getting THC in it. And I'm like, for 5 bottles, they're not going to freaking do that for me.
No.
So, it's, I have a friend that is a close friend with the owners. So we're trying to see if we can get that paperwork. And I don't know. I'm 90%. I'm just saying that I'm out of grand. I lost the bottles. But more than that, my friends are not going to have their CBD. So fuck, I'm kind of bummed about it. But that's the way it is. That's how Japan is, man.
Yeah, man. Strict loss of procedures, as you say. It's it does sucks, man.
Yeah, it does.
But yeah,
so absolutely.
I mean,
anybody thinking of bringing CBD, don't bring CBD in. Anything that has CBD written on it, whether it's no THC, whether they sell CBD in Japan, doesn't matter. Anything that's CBD that comes in is going to have to be held and tested, and then they're going to tell you need the proper paperwork, which you probably can't get. You're not going to get it from a retailer.
Yeah.
So, lesson learned.
Yeah. It's weird, right? Because probably a lot of people that watch this podcast watch Ryzen and have seen like Weed Plus as the sponsor, which is a CBD company, right? So they're probably scratching their head thinking some double standards. Yeah.
It's
But
crazy, man.
hey
And
ho.
you
Well,
think that,
on to
you know,
more positive things.
you think that maybe because, oh, maybe America, they're sticking to THC. They tested it, had no THC in it. So I
Yeah,
don't know.
that's
You know, I love Japan, but they have these little
that's not
quirks like
wrong.
that. You know, I mean, it's one of those things that the
Yeah.
country has these procedures that they will not break. They will not break their procedure. So as
Mhm.
logical as it seems that this should be let in, if not, you should let me take it
Yeah.
back. As logical as that seems,
Mhm.
it's not possible here. So it's kind of shitty, but life's a bitch.
It is what it is. Yep,
It
yep,
is
yep,
what it
yep.
is. That's a good
So
one, man.
it is what it is. So I mean, one of the things I went to, we gotta talk UFC 269, right? Because that's
Oh
been the last couple
yeah,
of
no
weeks,
shit.
and so you watched it at home with Sarah, you guys. In fact, you had an earthquake halfway through it, right?
Yeah, we had a huge earthquake. Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Yeah, mental, right? So, I mean, what's the first thing when I say UFC 269? What was the first thing that pops into your head if we go
Juliana
down that route?
Pena.
Juliana Pena. What, and how we said Juliana Pena? I don't think it's very likely, or we might have been a bit
Hey, you
more.
know, I'm the type of guy that bets on underdogs, especially if they're huge underdogs like Juliana was.
Yeah,
Seven
yeah,
plus 750.
yeah,
I would usually put 100 or 200 bucks on that. But
yeah.
she's fighting Amanda Nunes. There's no chance, right, James?
That's what we said. Well, I'll tell you what, though.
Man, you know, yeah.
We called the Oliveira fight, right? So that was good, and people didn't see it because the recording kind of cut out. But I said Kai Kara France was going to knock out Cody Garbrandt. That happened. So we did it. We were doing okay. But
You know
what did
what?
you think?
I don't count that a minus on us with Pena, man. But I don't think there's a single person that watched the fight besides Juliana and her friends that thought she was going to win.
Apparently, Chael Sonnen picked up, but I don't know.
Ah,
So,
Chael will say
yeah,
anything to sell this podcast.
indeed. So do you know what? When that fight was happening, I was really, I wanted to ask you what do you think happened with Nunes? Like, because do you think she didn't train as hard for the fight, or it just seemed really different?
Well, for me, what I feel is that when you have a happy life and you're comfortable with your life and happy with your everything that you have, sometimes the desire isn't as great. So I'm thinking that might be a part of it, but I think the biggest reason why is she was caught off guard, man. That when she hit, I think she couldn't sit on her punches as well as she wanted to because Juliana's jab was throwing her timing off.
Mhm.
But she did hit, as you can see, Juliana's eye was really swollen. She did hit her. And I think what she thought Juliana was going to react to from her hits and what she thought Juliana was going to be able to do to her was something that pretty much caught her off guard. So what she thought was going to happen didn't happen. What she expected from Juliana was a lot more than she thought. And then I think the biggest thing is she started getting tired.
Hmm.
So when it went to the ground, the choke wasn't in.
Yeah, that was everyone making a big thing of the tap and the choke because it was like,
One, the choke wasn't in. One, it was too fast, even if it wasn't.
yeah,
Second thing is if you're fighting, if you have the desire to fight, your hands aren't going to be on the mat. Your hands are going to start grabbing.
mm-hmm.
You're not going to stay in the turtle position. You're going to sit to the side. You're going to do anything to show that you're trying to get out. I believe that Amanda got broken, and it's just an accumulation of, that she didn't. She thought Juliana was going to get hurt more from her punches. She didn't expect Juliana to be able to do what she did and hit her as
Yeah,
much as she did, and then she didn't anticipate getting tired. And they all say a fatigue can kill warriors. Yeah,
yeah,
I think
yeah.
accumulation of all that together, man. I mean, when the choke was in, even if it wasn't completely in,
She just knew.
that was I think that was a very very attractive time to end the fight. Tap out, man. She tapped out fast.
Yeah. It was such a strange performance. It was one where it's really scratching my head.
You did
Just
look
because of
flat, but
yeah.
I don't know if I don't want to take away from Juliana, because maybe Juliana was just that courageous, because
Yeah.
she took it to Amanda, man.
Yeah, she did. And Juliana's always got that strange stand up. I've noticed this since she was like joined the UFC. She always had that weird sort of, I don't know, like it doesn't look
You
like.
know what's weird about Gianna's stand-up is her elbows go up when she punches.
Yeah,
She
that's what I
doesn't throw it
mean.
straight. She throws it up like this, yeah.
Yeah,
But
just looks different.
it's
It wait,
effective. She
it
hurt
just
Amanda.
yeah, it just beat one of the all-time best women's MMA fighters, right? So hey, I won't knock it.
Yeah,
What
it's
did you
crazy.
think? What did you think of the main event? Charles Oliveira, taking all that punishment from Dustin, coming back, hell of a comeback, and
Yeah,
just using so many weapons, right? For the elbows, knees to the body, just a masterclass, really.
yeah.
Of
That was the most prominent thing to me, is Dustin was doing really well with only a
mhm,
single attack with his hands.
mhm,
He did some calf kicks, but those has to take a longer time to accumulate. But
mhm.
Oliveira, elbow, spinning kicks, knees, flying knees. I mean, hands. He had everything. He had a lot better arsenal. And I think it almost the same thing that happened to Nunes, man. I mean, Dustin hit him with some nice shots.
Mhm.
And when I think when Oliveira kept coming, man, I mean, I noticed. I actually tweeted it on Twitter that Dustin looks like he's breathing hard at the end of the
Mhm.
first round. I thought
Yeah,
he
he
was
did.
breathing hard. I thought, oh shit, he looks a little labored. And the guys criticize. Like Connor was criticizing Dustin, saying, that you know you lost to him, you're no good. That what was the hell was that close guard shit and everything.
Mhm,
And
mhm.
no, Dustin did good. Dustin almost put him out. Dustin almost
Yeah.
knocked him out.
Mhm.
And I think that Dan, did you see the pace those guys had?
That's it, right?
Damn,
This
the
kind of
pace was crazy. Yeah.
it's funny because you see a lot of championship fights, right? Where the champion comes out and it's kind of a little bit standoffish, they're sort of working out the timing and that. Oliveira just comes straight out and just starts like as if it's like round 5 or something, just coming into the knockout, and it's different, and it's fucking awesome to watch, right?
And
It,
the interesting thing is when you fight, if you're not able to dictate the pace, your stamina is not going to be up to par,
Mhm.
because you're training to your type of stamina. So the people who aggress and lose their stamina is when they get overexcited and they go over what they plan to do. But what's happening in this situation is Oliveira, even when he was hurt, he was still coming forward. So Dustin, I think, really couldn't get his pace going. He had to fight at Oliveira's pace, which was an incredible pace that he was coming forward on. And I think that I think that Dustin got tired, man.
Mhm. Yeah, I don't know. I think just Oliveira just looked outstanding, to be honest. I think just a great performance. And what's even better is the fact that I think it's going to be Oliveira versus Justin Gaethje, which, title or not, that fight would have been amazing. Add in the lightweight title, what a brilliant fight. That's going to be a great
You
way
know what? Who you
to
think?
introduce.
Who would you pick on that fight?
Ah, shit. I don't know now. This is real hard because both of them are super tough guys. Both of them can be like, you know, they're both known for like the comebacks, right? So this is why I think this is. I mean, I'm already predicting that's going to be fight of the year for 22. Like, but if I had to pick, I'd probably go. Do you know? This is a hard one. I think I'll go Gaethje. Yeah, but Oliveira may prove me wrong, and I may change that like 10 times in between. But I'll go Gaethje for now, just because I do think the leg kicks, the his striking is just unparalleled, right? So, but we'll see, we'll see.
I
What about
say
you?
Gaethje too. I say
Okay.
Gaethje because I think Oliveira gets hit too much.
Hmm.
and Gaethje will be hitting a lot harder,
Yeah.
and takedowns will be a lot harder to take down Gaethje. So I think Justin's takedown defense, which is incredible, is going to be able to nullify the ground of Oliveira. And the fact that Oliveira gets hit so much, I think Gaethje hits a lot harder than Poirier. Poirier is more of a real sharp accumulation of punches. Gaethje has power.
Yeah, he's got that one punch.
Yeah, so I think that Gaethje will be able to put him out with his power. So I mean, I like both fighters. They're both great guys. It's almost like the Poirier fight. Yeah, it's like they're both great guys, man. You kind of don't want any of them to lose. Even this next fight is the same thing, man. You don't want Gaethje. You don't want Oliveira to lose, man. So,
but I would have the fan reaction to that Oliveira versus Poirier fight was really funny, right? Because you got a lot of these fans that sort of came in with Conor, came in and saw Dustin beat Conor, and then so you got a lot of people that are like, yeah, Dustin, the guy that shut him up. And Dustin seems like a great guy or whatever, but there's a lot of the fans that totally like shat all over Oliveira, right? They completely disrespected like how good he actually is. And the guy's been in the UFC for 10 years, and he's fought so many good people, and it hasn't always gone his way, right? But that experience that counts for something. And I know Poirier's been in it as well, right? But it just seemed like there was so many people sort of not like he was an underdog, right? And he was the champion, which says it all. So
crazy. Did you see in the stands Miesha Tate screaming and happy that Pena won? And then next to her, Kayla Harrison's going, fuck.
Yeah, what was it? I think wasn't it Juliana Pena? She was on one of the seasons of Ultimate Fighter with Miesha Tate. I think she was a coach, right? Yeah, that feels like a lifetime ago.
Yeah, her and Miesha Tate are close.
Yeah. Those are the Ronda Rousey days, right? So long time ago. But yeah, any other sort of performances that sort of stood out to you on the card?
Tuivasa.
Yeah.
Tai Tuivasa, that freaking knockout was brutal. And
something else, right?
What's the one they got fight of the night? Dominic Cruz.
Oh yeah, that was a good fight.
My God, Dominic is a warrior, man. You see, the fight was at the verge of being stopped like 3 times.
Yeah,
that was an unreal fight. The pace was incredible. Yeah, it was good referee. Really good referee.
Cruz has had those issues right in the past where he felt like it's been stopped too early, and so it was good to see that actually for once that didn't happen. That they kind of let him go. And it makes you wonder, like, would some of those losses might not have been losses, right? So
they gave him more chance. Yeah, he gave him more chance, man. He came back strong, won the last and second and the third round. Shit.
Yeah. No, loads of good stuff on that card. Like Sean O'Malley looked good. Wonder what's next for him.
Yeah, Sean O'Malley looked good.
Yeah. So really, really good card. Good way to end the year for big UFC cards. Obviously, big Ryzen card at the end of the year. That should be fun. Still no announcement. No tension. Takeru.
There's a bunch of announcements.
Yeah, but not that one.
Oh yeah, I know. Yeah.
It doesn't look like it's gonna happen, right? So.
Yeah. Hopefully, fingers crossed. I want to see that fight.
Yeah, me too. Right. Well, I mean, unless you've got anything else you want to add, I think that sort of wraps up this episode.
All good, man.
Yeah. All right, everybody. Thanks for watching, and we'll speak again soon.